What is today? Rum Rum. Model T Day is celebrated every year on October 1st to commemorate the day that changed how America traveled on its roads. According to the official Ford website, the Model T, often called the Tin Lizzie, was introduced to the world in 1908. Henry Ford wanted the Model T to be affordable, simple to operate, and durable. The vehicle was one of the first mass-produced vehicles, allowing Ford to achieve his aim of manufacturing the universal car. The Model T was manufactured on the Ford Motor Company's moving assembly line at Ford's revolutionary Highland Park plant. Due to the mass production of the vehicle, Ford Motor Company could sell the vehicle for between $260 and $850 as Henry Ford passed production savings on to his customers. The Model T became famous for the stunts it could perform, including climbing the stairs of the Tennessee State Capitol and reaching the top of Pikes Peak. After the test of his own product, the vehicle rolled off the factory in Detroit, Michigan, and was shipped to its first customer on October 1st of 1908. What is today? Can you imagine having to clean up after people on a daily basis? People are slobs. Why are there paper towels all around the wastebasket in the men's bathroom? Why can't you bend over, pick it up, and get it in the damn basket this time? Thankfully, we have hardworking people known as custodians to fight the good fight and clean up after these slobs. That's why we love this day, National Custodian Day, which sweeps by every October 2nd. It recognizes the hard work that it takes to keep our public facilities in tip-top shape, as well as the people who diligently work, often at low wages, to make sure we have schools and workplaces that are spotless and sanitary. The day was added to the Chase calendar of events that we bring up a lot on this channel in 1995 and 96. Thank you, custodians, for your hard work. And everyone else, stop being a slob. No one should have to clean up after your laziness. Why not take the initiative and show some personal responsibility? Become a little more self-aware and show some respect. Make the custodian's job no harder than it has to be.
I have spoken.
What is today? I'm not sure if I'm someone's boyfriend or not at this point. It's complicated on National Boyfriend Day, observed every October 3rd. If I am, then this day is for me and the rest of you. If I'm not, then this day is just for the rest of you, and I'll just sulk in the corner. National Boyfriend Day is a day for romantic girlfriends to celebrate their boyfriends. It's time to make your boyfriend feel valued, special, and loved. We're simple creatures, so it doesn't take much to do that. Do something nice for your boyfriend. Ideas include taking him on a date. Whether it is a dinner, sporting event, or a movie, you might even take him golfing or fishing or whatever his favorite hobby is. Give him some lovin'. You know what I mean, a little hanky-panky. Squat thrust the cucumber patch. You get it. National Boyfriend Day is a day to let your boyfriend know how much he means to you. National Boyfriend Day reminds everyone with a boyfriend to take special notice of that special someone and how they make your life better. Why are Justin Bieber lyrics suddenly entering my head? Happy Boyfriend Day. What is today? I thought every Tuesday was Taco Day. Congress member Henry B. Gonzalez gave a speech on the floor of Congress in which he quoted the National Taco Week Council of San Antonio, Texas, that's a thing, as saying, on May 3rd of every year, National Taco Day will be observed in honor of the birth date of the great Texan and American, the Honorable Henry B. Gonzalez, Congressman of Bexar County and San Antonio. There is no indication that Congress took any further action on that. October 4th is celebrated under the misnomer National Taco Day. This has led to some confusion, as this does not reference any country or correspond to any country's National Taco Day. This holiday was created as part of a 2009 advertisement campaign by the taco chain Del Taco. Taco Tuesday was actually trademarked across the country in 1989 by Wyoming-based fast food chain called Taco John's, except in New Jersey, where the trademark had already been claimed by Gregory's Restaurant and Bar back in 1982. See how much useless knowledge I gift you on a daily basis? Feel special. What is today?
Be nice. If you won't walk, walk him, but be nice. If you can't walk him, one of the others will help you, and you'll both be nice.
Spread kindness and positivity on National Be Nice Day, kindly being celebrated on October 5th. A simple smile or kind word can make someone's day.
That's me, and that's 3 people, and I'm going to help them. Then they do it for 3 other people, then they do it for 3 more.
And not only be nice to others, certainly be nice to others, but be kind to yourself, because sometimes we're our own worst critics.
Hey, you kid, I know I'm ugly. I stuck my head out the window, got arrested for mooning. I know I'm ugly. I went to a freak show. They let me in for nothing.
So be nice on National Be Nice Day, or Patrick Swayze will come back from the dead and kick your ass.
I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
What is today? Let's get our ramen on for National Noodle Day, boiled up every October 6th. It is a day to celebrate the birth of the noodle, a staple in the human diet for more than 4,000 years. Noodles are believed to have been first made in China, with evidence dating back over 2,000 years. The earliest known records of noodles in China came from the Han Dynasty. From China, noodles spread to neighboring East Asian countries like Japan, Korea, and Vietnam, where they became integral to local cuisines. Noodles made their way to Europe, likely through trade routes, and became especially popular in Italy. Italian pasta, including spaghetti, fettuccine, and lasagna, is now famous worldwide. Yummy. In 2002, archaeologists along the Yellow River in China found an earthenware bowl containing 4,000-year-old noodles that had been well preserved. Those have a hell of a shelf life. Cook yourself up some pasta tonight. Spaghetti sounds delicious, maybe some mac and cheese. That's using the old noodle. What is today? There are a lot of days like this throughout the year, and I seem to gravitate to a lot of these types of days on this channel. I feel it's important for all of us to treat each other well and treat ourselves well. It's hard to know what anyone is going through at any given time. People often keep things inside and to themselves, so I feel it important to give people the benefit of the doubt. This certainly holds true on National Forgiveness and Happiness Day, observed every October 7th, founded by Robert Moyers and the Worldwide Forgiveness Alliance. This special day was created to remind us that letting go of our past grudges can lead to more peacefulness and happiness within ourselves. It's also a great opportunity to start fresh with loved ones or focus on personal growth by releasing any negative emotions we may have been holding onto for too long. And I always bring this up, and I find it hard to do this even today. It's okay to forgive yourself. I think most people are their own worst critics and sometimes their own worst enemy. You deserve to forgive yourself. You deserve to love yourself, and you deserve to be happy on National Forgiveness and Happiness Day. I haven't had this stuff since I was a kid. Today we mark the remembrance with National Fluffernutter Day, observed every October 8th. Marshmallows date way back to Roman Empire times. Marshmallow cream, one of the two main ingredients of Fluffernutter, was invented in the early 20th century. Archibald Query invented a creation he called marshmallow cream in Somerville, Massachusetts in 1917. Sugar shortages during World War I hurt sales of Archibald Query's marshmallow cream, so Query sold his recipe in 1920 to two men from Swampscott, Massachusetts, H. Allen Durkee and Fred L. Maurer, who began distributing the product through their company Durkee Maurer Incorporated. In 1960, the advertising firm Durkee Maurer hired created the term Fluffernutter as a more effective way to market the product. Fluffernutter is a registered trademark of Durkee Maurer, although the company's U.S. trademark registrations for the term cover only ice cream and printed recipes. In 2021, Merriam-Webster added the word fluffernutter to its dictionary. What is today? Columbus Day has been celebrated in the United States since the 18th century and was officially recognized as a federal holiday in 1937. It is typically observed on the second Monday in October. The holiday has traditionally been a day to honor and remember Columbus's achievements as an explorer. In recent years, there has been growing debate and criticism regarding Columbus's legacy, particularly concerning his treatment of indigenous peoples. Some communities and states in the United States have chosen to rename the holiday Indigenous Peoples Day or Native American Day as a way to recognize and honor the contributions and history of indigenous peoples. In 1977, the United Nations of Geneva, Switzerland sponsored the International Conference of Discrimination Against Indigenous Populations in the Americas. Why did it happen in Geneva, Switzerland? Part of the purpose was to begin celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day, particularly with the idea of replacing the adoration and glorification of Christopher Columbus with recognition and acknowledgement of the native peoples of the land. In exchange for Columbus Day, many people in the United States began the celebration of Indigenous Peoples Day instead, coinciding with the 500th anniversary of the arrival of Christopher Columbus on American soil. A celebration of Indigenous Peoples Day was organized on October 12th of 1992 in Berkeley, California. Indigenous Peoples Day was first officially celebrated in the U.S. in 2021 when U.S. President Joe Biden became the first president to formally recognize the day. If you want my opinion, and no one ever asked for it, but here it is anyways, we celebrate both. We don't have to honor Christopher Columbus, but we can recognize his contributions to exploration and paving the way to the creation of what we know today as the United States. Just like the history of slavery, some evil people did some evil things. That doesn't define us as a country. We do need to recognize history as best it is written and never let it repeat itself or something similar. Okay, stepping down the soapbox. Have a good Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day or just have a good Monday in general. What is today? Every year, the 10th of October is observed as National Hug a Drummer Day. The day celebrates drummers, a group of percussionists who keep the rhythm and beat of music, but are usually the least celebrated musicians in the band. This annual event was created in 1984 by an enthusiastic group of drummers and percussionists who wanted to celebrate the art of drumming. Whether you're a drummer yourself or just appreciate their talent, this is the perfect day to give out hugs and share some love with all the amazing percussionists out there. Historically, drummers have had a role in military conflicts, accompanying troops into battle while keeping a marching pace and raising troop morale. Drum lines descended from military drummers and now exist on their own, or as an accompaniment to marching bands. Now remember, walking up to a random drummer and hugging him or her might be a little bit weird, so I recommend that people don't do that on this day unless you ask first and they say yes. Fist bumps and high fives are perfectly acceptable alternatives on National Hug a Drummer Day. What is today? For the people still caught in the 1980s, join the rest of us here in the 21st century. There was a time that the LGBTQ community had to hide in fear for their livelihood and their lives, a constant fear of being rejected by friends and loved ones, as well as the community of which they are part, has led to many of them remaining in the proverbial closet. I'd like to think at this point we're beyond that, as National Coming Out Day, observed on October 11th, challenges this ancient standard and encourages LGBTQ people everywhere to stand proud and claim who they are, and thus reclaim their lives. I remember the days when movie stars used to come out, and it was controversial, and in every newspaper. Now movie stars come out, and it's like, so be gay. Congratulations. Now I'm going to go back and eat my breakfast. Even if you're a heterosexual, you can use this day as an opportunity to let people in the LGBTQ community know that you support them and that you are proud of them. It is a day of unity and respect. People are gay, get over it. If you can't handle it, then just mind your own goddamn business. What is today? In the United States, National Farmers Day is celebrated on October 12th each year. It is a day to acknowledge and appreciate the vital role that farmers play in providing food, fiber, and other agricultural products to the nation. The day was set on October 12th because it is after the traditional harvest times of many crops. Let's celebrate this day with some farming facts. Around 97% of farms in the U.S. are family-owned and operated. In 2019, more than 22 million U.S. jobs were related to agriculture and food. That's 10.9% of the total U.S. employment. Only 2% of the American population are farmers who feed everyone else. 40% of all food grown and produced in the U.S. is never eaten. Food waste occurs at various stages of the food supply chain, from production and processing to distribution and consumption. The U.S. is the world's third biggest food supplier. It is believed that agriculture is one of the world's oldest industries, and the economies of many countries still rest squarely on the shoulders of the agricultural industry. What is today? I didn't know how to visually present this day without sexualizing or demeaning it. Let me just say point blank, I like boobs of the female variety. This is a day I can really stand behind. Actually, I'd rather stand in front of it. I'm extremely supportive, no pun intended, and a big advocate for National No Bra Day, observed on October 13th. I advocate so hard for this day, I am currently not wearing a bra and will maintain that modesty throughout the day. The reason this day is observed, and women are encouraged to go braless, is a means to encourage breast cancer awareness. Breast cancer is a potentially fatal disease, but also highly detectable and treatable. As my mother would say, I'm going to the doctor to get my boobs squashed. Make sure you ladies out there are going as recommended. The American Cancer Society recommends mammography every year for women ages 50 to 54 and every 1 to 2 years for women ages 55 and older. I like your boobs, lady, and more importantly, I like you. Let's make sure both are around for a very long time. I guess that would be all three. Regardless, be safe. What is today? Checkmate. The origins of National Chess Day can be traced back to a joint resolution of the U.S. Congress on October 9th, 1976. Public Law 94-550 was signed into law by President Gerald Ford, officially recognizing the second Saturday in October as National Chess Day. Chess likely evolved from the earlier board games such as Changaranga and Shantrang. These games had similar rules, including pieces representing different types of military units such as infantry, cavalry, and, of course, elephants. Chess made its way to Europe during the Middle Ages, likely through trade and interactions with the Islamic world. European players made some additional rule modifications, including changes to the initial positions of pieces and the en passant rule. The modern rules of chess, including the movement of the queen, which became the most powerful piece, and castling, were established in Europe during the late 15th century. These rules laid the foundation for the chess we know today. Lucy, what day is it today? You young whippersnappers probably don't even know who Lucy is. Grandpa Chris is here to educate you on National I Love Lucy Day, celebrated every October 15th. At this very minute, somewhere in the world, Lucy and Ricky are arguing in some 44 countries through this crazy thing called syndication. I Love Lucy is an iconic American television sitcom that originally aired from 1951, premiering on this very day and ending in 1957. The show's central premise revolves around the comedic antics of Lucy Ricardo, played by Lucille Ball, and her musician husband, Ricky Ricardo, played by Desi Arnaz. The Ricardos live in a New York City apartment and are surrounded by a quirky and lovable cast of characters, including the Ricardos' neighbors, Fred and Ethel Mertz, played by William Frawley and Vivian Vance. I Love Lucy received critical acclaim and numerous awards during its run, and it remains a cultural touchstone in the world of television. The show's timeless humor and relatable characters continue to entertain audiences of all ages, making it a classic that is cherished by generations of viewers. What is today? Do we still go to these things? National Department Store Day, observed on October 16th, is here to tell us all there's pretty much a day during the year for everything. There may not be a day for premature ejaculation, but I hear it's coming soon. That's an old joke I stole, sorry. Department stores, as we know them today, began to emerge in the 19th century. The first recognized department store is often credited to Bennett's in Derby, England, which was established in 1734. However, it was in the 19th century that the concept gained momentum. In 1852, I'm going to butcher this like I often do, Aristide Bausicat and his wife Marguerite opened Le Bon Marché, or something like that, in Paris, France. It is often considered the world's first true department store. Le Bon Marché introduced several innovations, including fixed prices, wide product selection, and fixed price tags. These practices were revolutionary at the time and set the standard for modern department stores. I can't tell you the last time I've been to a department store. Does Walmart count? In the United States, Marshall Field's, founded in Chicago in 1852, is often recognized as the one of the pioneering American department stores. It was known for its emphasis on customer service, quality goods, and elegant displays. Harry Gordon Selfridge, an American retail magnate, opened Selfridges in London in 1909. Selfridges introduced concepts like the customer is always right and extravagant window displays. The mid-20th century was considered the golden age of department stores. Iconic stores like Macy's in New York, Harrods in London, and Galeries Lafayette in Paris attracted shoppers and tourists from around the world. In the latter half of the 20th century, department stores faced challenges from changing consumer preferences, the rise of suburban shopping malls, and the growth of e-commerce. While the landscape of department stores have shifted significantly over the years, their legacy remained an integral part of retail history and urban culture. Today, department stores continue to adapt to changing consumer preferences and technology, striving to provide a unique shopping experience and a competitive retail environment. What is today? In the 1970s, the hit TV comedy Three's Company, we were introduced to a character by the name of Larry Dallas. In the show, Larry Dallas, played by Richard Klein, is a used car salesman and flashy womanizer who frequently lies about his identity. True to his character, he proposed Wear Something Gaudy Day as a way to celebrate outlandish fashion. It was from this character that we first were told that Wear Something Gaudy Day was something to be celebrated. Ever since then, people have been celebrating Wearing Something Gaudy Day with a complete lack of style and fashion. What is today? I haven't covered food in a while, so let's go there with National Chocolate Cupcake Day, served up every October 18th. Cupcakes can be traced back to 1796, when a recipe notation of a cake to be baked in small cups was written in the American Cookery by Amelia Simmons. The earliest known documentation of the term cupcake was in 1828 in Eliza Leslie's cookbook, 75 Receipts for Pastry, Cakes, and Sweetmeats. In 1919, a food company called Hostess began making what we would recognize today as the first mass-produced cupcake, popularizing the concept. They remain its most popular brand, beating out Twinkies, selling more than 600 million per year. In the 1950s, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill suggested instead of making cupcakes with just dried fruit and spices, he suggested adding icing sugar. Later in his life, he blamed the humble cupcake for his jowl. I'm thinking dessert for dinner, chocolate cupcakes. Who's with me? What is today? Evaluate Your Life Day on October 19th was created by the people at wellcat.com to encourage people to take some time for self-reflection and introspection. This day is a reminder to pause and consider various aspects of your life, including your goals, achievements, relationships, and overall well-being. Wellcat.com has 80 copyrighted holidays on Chase's calendar of events, meaning this channel will have enough material until the end of time. There are reasons why days like this are created. It gives us a reminder to ground ourselves and reflect. Other things to consider on Evaluate Your Life Day are setting goals, prioritizing health and well-being, evaluating relationships, pondering career and personal growth, and considering financial health. Take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate the positive aspects of your life. Life can sometimes be stagnant, so take this day to check in with yourself, set new intentions, and make adjustments if necessary. For me personally, I'm going to try to be less of an asshole. There's a lot of work to be done. What is today? The National Day of Writing, celebrated nationally on October 20th, was founded by the National Council of Teachers of English on the premise that writing is critical to literacy but needs greater attention and celebration. The National Day on Writing encourages people of all ages to share their thoughts, ideas, and experiences through writing, whether it's through traditional pen and paper, digital platforms, social media, or any other means of written communication. The day promotes the idea that writing plays a crucial role in our communication and self-expression. Don't know what to write about? Writer's block. Nothing worse than staring at a blank piece of paper or screen. This is what I do. I go read the news for ideas. Go to Dunkin' Donuts or the mall or somewhere busy and watch people. Listen to people's stories. Maybe a grandparent or a workmate, or if you're bold, a stranger. And when you get an idea, no matter how small it is, you sit and you write. You vomit out words no matter how ridiculous they may be. You type out or write down whatever pops in your head. You'll go back and edit it later. Marty McFly, portrayed by Michael J. Fox, along with Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, and Jennifer Parker, played by Elizabeth Shue, travel to the future in Doc's DeLorean to save Marty and Jennifer's future children. The date they travel to is October 21st of 2015, the date which would become the first Back to the Future Day. Back to the Future is a highly popular and iconic science fiction film franchise created by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. The series began with the release of the first film in 1985 and continued with two sequels in 1989 and 1990. The franchise is known for its time travel concept, humor, memorable characters, and its influence on pop culture. The making of these films has a rich and complicated history, way too much to do it justice on this channel. I would suggest the 2015 documentary Back in Time if you're curious about how this movie made it to the big screen and the impact it has had over the decades since. You can find it free to watch on the YouTubes. What is today? National Nut Day on October 22nd is a day to show off and have pride in your nuts. People often celebrate by eating their nuts, whether it's snacking on them, adding them to recipes, or putting their nuts on top of ice cream.
It's a bit nutty.
Share your nuts with family. Pass around your nuts during the football game. Let them touch those suckers. They may rub, fondle, or play with your nuts. They may even put your nuts in their mouth. Just make sure they don't just grab your nuts. Tell them to be careful, but it's okay to grab your own nuts. They are your nuts, after all.
Boy, Mo, you sure look angry. Here, have some nuts.
Hey, thanks.
Nuts are a good source of healthy fats, protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They can be enjoyed on their own, added to salads, used in baking, and incorporated into a wide range of dishes. National Nut Day is a great opportunity to explore your nuts and to appreciate the role they play in your life. What is today? It's Monday and you're back to work and just in time for Slap Your Annoying Coworker Day. Your coworker in the next cube is at it again, yakking it up nonstop, clipping her nails, popping his gum, and sucking up to the boss. Normally you just grin and bear it, but today is different because it is National Slap Your Annoying Coworker Day. This annual event takes place every October 23rd, so if someone at work is bugging you, don't be shy, take advantage. Wind up and slap their stupid faces off. Okay, please don't actually do that, but it's not against the law to think about it. The image in your head may bring a smile to your face. If you happen to want to be fired and charged with assault, give it a go.
Holy crap. Snap out of it.
What is today? National Bologna Day is a food holiday celebrated in the United States on October 24th each year. It's a day dedicated to the popular processed meat product known as bologna.
I'm not gonna stand here and listen to this baloney. He won't, you know. He doesn't stand for baloney.
Bologna is a type of sausage made from a mixture of ground meats, usually beef, pork, or a combination of both, along with various seasonings and additives.
My bologna has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My bologna has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
So enjoy your bologna day with a bologna sandwich. Throw on some mustard, mayonnaise, or ketchup. And it's also inexpensive. What is today? I actually watched this movie for the first time this year, and I really liked it. I realized it came out in 1988. I've been busy. Why is National Chucky the Notorious Killer Doll Day observed on October 25th? Beats the hell out of me. Why should any of the holidays I cover on this channel make any sense? Child's Play is a popular and long-running horror film franchise that centers around the character Chucky, a malevolent and possessed doll that becomes a homicidal killer. The franchise was created by Don Mancini and has produced several movies and a television series. Chucky's appearance and design were influenced by the classic children's dolls and action figures of the time, such as the My Buddy and Cabbage Patch Kid dolls, which were popular during the 1980s. It's also said to be inspired by Robert Eugene Otto's doll gifted to him in 1904. You can learn more about that story on my other channel. Child's Play has had a significant impact on the horror genre and remains a beloved franchise among horror enthusiasts. What is today? National Pumpkin Day is a celebration of the pumpkin, a popular and versatile fruit that is often associated with the fall season. It is observed on October 26th each year. Hey, we are getting close to Halloween after all. Pumpkins are one of the oldest cultivated crops in America. Archaeological evidence suggests that pumpkins were grown in Mexico as far back as 7,000 to 5,500 BC. They were an important food source for indigenous people in the region. Native American tribes such as the Aztecs and the Mayans cultivated pumpkins alongside other crops like maize and beans. These three crops were often grown together in a method known as the Three Sisters planting technique, where they supported each other's growth. Aw, that's so sweet. When European explorers, including that Christopher Columbus, arrived in the Americas, they encountered pumpkins and other native crops. Pumpkins, along with other New World foods, were brought back to Europe and eventually introduced to other parts of the world. What is today? Navy Day is a holiday in the United States that honors and celebrates the U.S. Navy and its role in the country's defense. The origins of Navy Day can be traced back to October 27th of 1922, when the date was chosen to coincide with the birthday of President Theodore Roosevelt, who was an avid supporter of a strong and modernized U.S. Navy. Navy Day appears on the calendar exactly 2 weeks after the United States Navy celebrates its officially observed birthday on October 13th. With 2 days hailing the men and women of the U.S. Navy, the month of October is a big deal for members of the armed forces who serve on the naval warfare branch of the U.S. military. While Navy Day was traditionally observed as an independent holiday, it was later merged with Armed Forces Day and eventually integrated into the larger celebration of the U.S. military on Veterans Day. Today, the U.S. Navy is recognized and celebrated not only on Navy Day, but throughout the year as part of the broader recognition of the U.S. Armed Forces. What is today? National First Responders Day is observed in the United States on October 28th each year. This day is dedicated to honoring and showing appreciation for the courageous men and women who are the first to arrive and provide assistance during emergencies and critical situations. Congress designated October 28th as National First Responders Day in 2017. Every day, Americans across the country witness the absolute courage and selfless sacrifice of our first responders, whether they are police officers and sheriff deputies protecting our communities, firefighters running into burning buildings, or emergency medical technicians, paramedics, 911 dispatchers, 988 crisis responders, and other public health workers providing emergency care. These heroes are always there for us when we need them. On National First Responders Day, we honor and celebrate these extraordinary brave men and women who put themselves in harm's way to keep our nation safe. So if you see a first responder today, acknowledge them, thank them, and show them your support. What is today, and I happen to be one of these. I spend most of my time alone, hidden away from the rest of the world, creating videos for all you fine folk. National Hermit Day, observed on October 29th each year, is a day for contemplation and solitude. It's an opportunity to step back from the business of life, disconnect from the world, and spend some time in peaceful seclusion. Saint Colman died in Ireland in 632 AD. So why am I telling you that? Because he had a 7-year hermitage in the Burren Forest, in a cave. It is believed that National Hermit Day honors the date of his death. And it's Sunday. It's a perfect day to hermitize. Engage in activities that promote self-awareness and inner peace. National Hermit Day is a gentle reminder of the importance of self-reflection and self-care. It's an opportunity to recharge and reconnect with oneself. Now I'm going to finish up this video and watch the rest of Chucky Season 1. It's good. Try it out. What is today? Well, it's Halloween Eve, and we'll talk about National Candy Corn Day, celebrated on October 30th. Candy corn is widely credited to George Renninger, a candy maker at the Wonderall Candy Company in Philadelphia. He first created candy corn in the 1880s. Originally, candy corn was made by hand, with each piece being laboriously shaped and colored. Traditional candy corn is made from sugar, corn syrup, marshmallow cream, and a few other ingredients. It was originally sold as chicken feed due to its resemblance to corn kernels. Goylet's Confectionery Company, now known as Jelly Belly, began producing candy corn in the late 19th century. They were among the first companies to use a mechanical molding process to produce the candy corn. Candy corn quickly became associated with Halloween and autumn, primarily because of its colors and the harvest season. Candy corn is a very divisive treat, with some people loving it and others not enjoying it so much. Do you like candy corn, or do you despise it? I personally could do without it. What is today? Happy Halloween, y'all.
Each year, the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. He's got to pick this one. He's got to.
The origins of Halloween can be traced back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. It was believed that during this time, the boundary between the living and the spirit world was blurred, allowing spirits and fairies to roam the earth.
What the hell are you doing in my graveyard? You have been told to stay away!
When the Romans conquered Celtic territories, they incorporated elements of Samhain into their own festivals. Two Roman festivals, Feralia and Pomona, celebrated the dead and the harvest, respectively, and influenced the development of Halloween.
What the hell is going on out here? Get back in your grave!
If you try to hold my hand, I'll slug you.
Continuing from our last video, in the 7th century, Pope Boniface IV established All Saints' Day on November 1st to honor Christian saints. Later, All Souls' Day on November 2nd was added to commemorate the departed. These Christian holidays merged with Samhain customs, contributing to the Halloween tradition. During the Middle Ages, various customs evolved around these Christian holidays, including souling, which is soul cakes for the dead, and guising, which are costume processions. Halloween was brought to North America by European immigrants, particularly the Irish, in the 19th century. These immigrants contributed to the modern celebration of Halloween in the United States. In the early 20th century, Halloween became more commercialized with the introduction of greeting cards and the marketing of costumes and all that candy, and it doesn't seem to have like the same sparkle and magic it did back maybe in the 70s and the 80s. I don't think kids care as much anymore, but maybe they because I'm an old fart. And since the growing of the internet and COVID, it doesn't seem that parents are too jazzed about bringing their kids out anymore. What is today? Not only is it Halloween, but it's National Caramel Apple Day, celebrated on October 31st of each year. Caramel apples, also known as toffee apples, traditionally involve melting caramel, dipping apples into it, and allowing the caramel to cool and harden around the apple. The caramel apple's origin can be traced to the late 19th century. At that time, both apples and caramel were popular treats in the United States. Caramel was used to coat a variety of confections. Caramel apples gained widespread popularity in the 1950s, becoming a staple of Halloween and fall festivals. They were a relatively simple and affordable treat that could be made at home or purchased from candy shops. Over the years, various companies started producing pre-packaged caramel apples for sale in stores, making them even more accessible. These commercially produced caramel apples often came with a wooden stick for easier handling. Caramel apples have remained a beloved and iconic autumn treat, enjoyed by many as part of the seasonal festivities. Get yourself a caramel apple this Halloween night. What is today? Samhain is a significant and ancient Celtic festival that marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. It is traditionally celebrated on the night of October 31st to November 1st. Samhain is often regarded as the precursor to the modern holiday of Halloween, and it shares some common themes and practices. Samhain marks the Celtic New Year and is seen as a time when the veil between the living and the spirit world is at its thinnest. It signifies the end of the light half of the year and the beginning of the dark half. It is a time to celebrate the completion of the harvest season, giving thanks for the bounties of the earth and preparing for the scarcity of winter. Samhain is a time to honor and remember deceased ancestors. It is believed that the spirits of the departed can return to the world of the living during this time. People often set places at the dinner table for deceased family members and engage in rituals to communicate with them. What do you think they talk about? The weather? Current events? Books for Treats Day is a creative and community-focused event that combines the joy of reading with the excitement of Halloween, and it will probably keep you thinner. Instead of giving out traditional candy or sweets, organizers or participants give out books to children on Halloween. This promotes literacy, encourages reading, and provides an alternative to the sugary treats typically associated with the holiday. The holiday was inspired by Rebecca Morgan, the founder of Books for Treats, a nonprofit movement. The idea was to step outside the tradition of giving candies on Halloween, so Rebecca Morgan began giving books as treats in 1995 from her home in Willow Glen. In 2001, Morgan started the Books for Treats organization, which helped spread Books for Treats Day around the United States and Canada. In 2009, the movement gained huge momentum when she convinced Greg Evans, the Luann comic creator, to promote Books for Treats and encourage more people to give books to little children. It's a wonderful way to encourage reading and share the joy of books with young trick-or-treaters.